Liv Schmidt grew a following with her posts about staying slender.
You're not bloated because you're broken. You're bloated because you keep eating like your body's a garbage can.
Her What I Eat in a Day videos about her diet was so controversial that they got her banned from TikTok. I decided that I had to see what the big fuss was about, so I tried her diet for 72 hours to see what it's like to live skinny, and spoiler alert, it was a wild ride.
It was at this moment that he knew. He up.
Day one of Liv Schmidt's diet. I'm nervous, I'm not gonna lie guys. I'm used to eating a little bit more freely than she does. I work out, but I also like to eat and I like my carbs as well. So there's a lot of trepidation there, but I'm committed. I really wanna see what it's like to eat what she does and how it feels and whether I can actually concentrate on my work that I need to do. So let's have a look at the breakfast that she usually eats. Day one of Liv Schmidt's diet, let's go. So Liv starts her day, well, one of her days at least, with a protein milkshake. I hate doing drinks for breakfast, but listen, this is not my diet, this is Liv's diet, so let's give it a good try. I'm pouring half because she only drinks 170 calories of it, so that's what this is. Okay, let's see if I can even stomach this. Oh. Yuck. Oh my god. That was honestly one of the most dreadful things I've ever tasted. Not sure how that's supposed to last me till lunch, but we'll see what we have for lunch if it's any more substantive. So I've noticed that Liv likes to exercise in the morning and she places a lot of emphasis on getting your steps in. So that's why I'm walking to the station to my hair appointment. It's a 20-minute walk to the station. Usually I would be in my car driving and parking. That's a great tip actually. The main issue with that is that you have to be organized. You have to make sure you leave early enough to not be late for wherever you're going. Walking obviously takes a lot longer than driving. Longer than you'd think if you're not used to just walking everywhere.
So I hate working in London for them to play anything. Someone's vomited in love with the pavement.
Brother,
Yeah, I think I'm going to be on time, but it does take that extra bit of organisation. I think that's going to be the case with this diet in general. You can't just pick anything up and eat it. You can't just do whatever you want to do. You have to be very organised. I made sure to pick one up with 20 grams of protein at least. And I was shocked to see that it cost £3, or that's about $5 US for one bar. Oh my gosh. After 3 hours in the chair at the hair salon, it was lunchtime. And can you believe I was only halfway through my treatment? That's keratin treatments for you. Anyway, I only had this bar to look forward to and it tasted weird. It's my first time tasting a protein bar and it tasted so doughy, sticky. But having said that, after a few bites, I did feel kind of full up. After 6 hours in the salon, my hair was finally done, and after running a few errands, it was time to go to dinner at one of my favourite Italian restaurants in London, Lena Stores. When Liv went out to dinner at an Italian restaurant, she had a couple of bites of bread, half of a truffle pasta dish and some salad. So that's what I'm going to do. I've noticed that Liv and her friends often enjoy a glass of wine, so I'm assuming that that's allowed, especially with dinner. The bread, the salad, and the beautiful truffle pasta all arrived at the same time. I was allowed to finish my salad and my wine, but obviously, as just stated, I could only eat a couple of bites of the bread and half of the pasta. My issue is that I hate waste, so I had to have them pack it up so I could eat it at another time when I'm no longer following this regime. It did feel so weird to leave food that I wanted to eat on my plate. But if you think about it, why is that? Just because something is put in front of you doesn't mean you have to finish it. Liv had a few bites of ice cream for dessert, so I had a few bites of sorbet for dessert as well, which was delicious. So again, walking home instead of driving, getting the steps in as Liv recommends. It's so funny to me that the most undisputably healthy part of this whole regime is the one that's most irritating to me.
bruh.
That says something about me. So at the end of day one, I found it interesting. It's a lot less food than I'm used to eating, obviously. I certainly didn't enjoy the first two protein-rich products I had to have for meals for breakfast and lunch. But having said that, I do feel more not full exactly, but I don't feel hungry, and I didn't feel hungry in the day, and that was surprising given how little I'd eaten, which was actually quite interesting. It shows that maybe protein is the key to feeling full, but there wasn't a lot of enjoyment there. So I'm interested to see on day 2, when I have a higher intensity workout planned, how I'll cope with eating so little food, and by little I mean comparatively little to what I normally eat. Let's see, roll on day 2. Morning guys, this is day 2 of the challenge. Now it's going to be a little bit different today because, as you might have seen on Liv's page, she's a big Pilates girl, specifically Reformer Pilates. So I've gotten up bright and early to attend an early morning Reformer Pilates class. So we're going to start by drinking the rest of this disgusting protein shake, just like she does on one of her days, and that's breakfast. And then we're gonna head on over to this Reformer Pilates class, which is an hour long. Reformer is such a hard workout, much harder than it looks. But there was no difference between my performance in class with this breakfast and my performance in class with a larger breakfast. I was equally bad on both occasions. So that's my Reformer class done. It's very clear I'm not very good at Reformer, but I don't think that was because of my light breakfast. I think it was just because my spine curves. So I'm automatically doing all of the exercises wrong. But I didn't feel weak or lightheaded or anything like that. Now we're going to get lunch, which for Liv is a half a wrap, I believe. Let's try this wrap, and you know, there's 2 bits in it, but we're only gonna have the one because she only has the one, I believe, in the pack. Very good. It's very good. And it does feel quite filling. It has quite a lot of protein in it, I believe. So I didn't walk to dinner today. Obviously, that I can't do that all the time, right? But I got there and I'm gonna follow the diet. I'm gonna follow Liv's 3rd meal of one of her what I eat in a days, and we're gonna see how we can do that. Her whole philosophy seems to be split it. So if you have a meal, don't eat all of it, split it with the person you're with. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see how this sharing business goes because we both really like our food. Let's see if we can be satisfied just eating half of 2 dishes. Liv said that she split 2 of these restaurant dishes between her and a friend, so that's what we're going to try and do this evening. And she also likes to leave food on the plate. She never seems to finish a restaurant meal. So we're going to try and do that as well, but I don't know how that's going to work if we're sharing and leaving food on the plate. And here's dessert. A couple of bites, Liv says. A couple of bites. Let's see how we do with that. Yeah, I think the whole sharing thing was definitely a success. I don't know why it hadn't occurred to us earlier that we don't actually have to eat a whole 3-course meal each when we go out. We can just share things. I don't know why that's a revelation, but that is a good tip from Liv. Sometimes when you leave a restaurant, you can feel super bloated and like you've done something wrong almost, but now I feel like ready to go. Morning guys, it's day 3 of the challenge, the final day. Today it's an indoor day for me. I have a lot of videos to make. I'm interested to see whether, because this is going to be quite a high stress day for me, I'm wondering whether the diet will hold up under the pressure, because usually when I'm stressed, that's when I want to eat lots and lots of food. On one of her what I eat in a days, Liv said that she started the day with a Greek yogurt with some sprinkles in it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And that doesn't seem like a lot to me, especially when I've got a hard day of work ahead of me. But let's see, because I did say that about the day when I did Reformer Pilates and I felt fine. So maybe I'll feel fine today. I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of savory yogurt. I mean, just looking at this, it looks disgusting to me. I don't know if something's gone wrong with this yogurt specifically. I added a teensy bit of muesli to make it slightly more palatable for me because it was just looking like an impossible task before. Okay, here we go with this.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
It's okay. I think I can finish it. So Liv, remarkably, actually has a sandwich for one of her what I eat in a day. So In her one, I think there was protein, there was some sort of turkey. I don't have that, so I'm going to put some vegetarian meatballs in. They're very high in protein, and have my sandwich. And my hypothesis was right. I've had quite a high pressure day today, and now I'm absolutely ravenous. It just shows me how much hunger for me sometimes is less a physical need and more an emotional one. Mine is clearly not as glamorous as her one, I'm so sorry. But trust me, it will taste good. Liv also said that she only eats half of this sandwich, which is just heartbreaking for me. I can't believe I can only eat half of that. So sad.
A few moments later.
So I almost cried when I saw what Liv was eating for dinner on this What I Eat in a Day. One slice of flatbread, then a couple of lettuce leaves. What? I'm starving. So I'm gonna have to do my equivalent of that, which is a piece of bread, some dips, and some salad. And that's it. I'm so hungry. I cannot tell you how sad I was that this was all I had to eat for dinner. So the experiment ended on somewhat of a low note. So what have I learned from this experiment? Well, firstly, the principles that Liv propagates are not entirely bad. I must say that I was expecting a lot worse from Liv's diet, given that she was actually banned on TikTok for promoting it. So I thought it was going to be a lot more extreme than it actually ended up being. I have learned some good tips from Liv, chief among them being not needing to eat everything that's piled on your plate. I think that a lot of the time people, especially from my background, are taught you don't waste food and you must eat whatever's put in front of you, otherwise it's rude. Someone who's personally uncomfortable with food waste, I found that I've had to save things for another time. I've got so many leftovers in my fridge now due to this experiment that I can enjoy it another time. I also think the idea about splitting things is amazing. When I went out to dinner, I found that we were so pleasantly surprised by the fact that we don't actually need to eat a full 3-course meal each. We could just split everything and just try little bits of different things. It was actually very nice and much preferable to how we usually do things. In the past, when I've left restaurants after a great meal, I've often felt bloated and kind of gross, but after the meal in the experiment that we shared, I felt really kind of fresh and ready to get on with the rest of my evening, which was quite a revelation. So I'll definitely be taking that tip forward. In terms of some of the downsides of the experiment, I would say that I don't love feeling like I can't have something if I want it. Like tonight, for example, I had a heavy day of work and I would have loved to have a very substantial meal, not necessarily a fatty or carby meal, but something a bit more than I had. And I felt restricted. I felt that I couldn't have the food that I wanted to eat. And that's not how I want to feel. I never want to feel like I can't eat something that I want to eat. I like to feel free. That's very important to me in all aspects of my life, and diet is no exception. Overall, I will say that I'm glad that I did try this. I learned a lot about myself and my attitude towards food and how hunger operates. Sometimes it's more of an emotional thing than an actual real need. And it was very interesting to me to find out that I didn't need to eat as much as I thought I did in order to function during the day. If you have any lifestyle or diet challenges you want me to try, put them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!